There we go. Got to save it for everybody who likes to watch it later. And I've got a really great tidbit to share with you guys about that. So anyway, welcome back. This month we are back again with Ryan Leach from Food with Strength. Hello, Ryan.
And
So excited to have you back. I just realized we're like in the 2-year range that you guys have been just really serving this breast cancer community and being super amazing.
yeah, and the really funny thing is that it's been like a year there and a year in this area, like the virtual place that we've all migrated to,
Yeah.
which is crazy in itself. Our business that we do, my wife Suzanne and I, we're both registered dietitians. We're the owners of Food with Strength. You can check us out at foodwithstrength.com. We've always been 100% online. We've always been 100% with Zoom. We missed out on that IPO. That was kicking ourselves in the butt. We knew it was going to be a big thing going forward in the world and the trends that things were happening with online stuff. So wherever you are, if you ever want to jump on a call with us, talk about your nutrition and things that we can do to help you improve your nutrition and how that can improve your life and your health, feel free to check us out. Go over to foodwithstrength.com, click on the meet and greet, and sign up for your free meet and greet.
That is
And
awesome.
then also, if you have other questions that you are pondering or thinking about as far as nutrition is concerned, you can go ahead to the contact page and just send us a question. Sorry, excuse me. I'm going over a fun head cold. I have a 2-year-old and he's in preschool and he likes to bring home germs. So
germs.
I get a fun mix of germs here and there. This turn was my turn to get the new mutant germ. So here I am. Yeah, it's awesome. I went to the doctor and they're like asking me all the COVID check questions. I'm like, it's not COVID. I'm telling you, I have a sinus infection.
Yeah.
How long have you had this? I'm like, it's been 2 weeks. It's not COVID.
It's not COVID. Everybody assumes these days, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dayquil is only going so far. I need something strong.
I need something more. Ryan, you mentioned something like, that your services work for anybody anywhere. And so that's a really great segue for me I just want to share like some information that, as we've been digging back through and looking at all of the lives touched by Going Beyond the Pink in this last year, obviously looking at how many workshops that you guys have done for us and really made such an impact in the breast cancer community. That transition from or like physical workshops where we had a limited space, though I miss them greatly because y'all, the food was incredible. But we have increased the number of people that participate, whether they're live and commenting or whether they're watching after the fact, to almost 1,000 individual people last year. So that was really huge. And that's just on our Facebook live stream videos, right? That doesn't include everything else we've got on YouTube and all the other platforms and all of that stuff. So thank you for being a huge part of that and really making this accessible to everybody. And I hear all the time. And I've got to say, out of all the different ones that we've done, nutrition and yoga are the tops. They're like the fan favorites. So rocking it. But then the other thing is that even though Going Beyond the Pink is a super local organization, we have engaged users of like our education hub and our resource hub and things like that in every single state in the United States and even internationally, where there are like lots of users in at least 10 different countries. So I'm really proud of all the work that we've done and what we've been able to accomplish together. And we could not do that without amazing community partners like you guys. So thank you.
Hey, happy to do this. Happy to be here with you and do all of these fun things. Yeah. The wonderful part of everything that you guys do is it's applicable to really, I know that you guys are focused really with the people that have breast cancer, but really anybody that has cancer. One of the things that are big and important that we always want to remember is that the role that all of these things play with you, whether it's nutrition and yoga, or even just being a partner and a friend of someone to help them get through it, that plays kind of the biggest umbrella role of things to help anybody going through cancer treatment. When it gets to the specific cancer, that's kind of the treatment plan that your doctor comes up for you with.
Right.
And there are tiny bits of evidence out there that where nutrition will be tweaked depending on what kind of cancer that you have. But really, when it comes to breast cancer and the recommendations that are there for nutrition for people with breast cancer, that's really applicable to all cancers. It's really, there's not really anything out there that's for breast cancer that's not for another kind of cancer. And then when it comes to the community and yoga and things like that, yoga and exercise has to be tweaked a little bit for different cancers, kind of depending on where it's located.
Right.
But your support, the people that are around you, and being like happy and having people to inspire you and push you is going to create the greatest rate of success for you when you're going through any cancer treatment. So going beyond the pink is obviously a great resource for all of those things. But what we do is just the nutrition piece of it. So happy to talk about that. But
so what are we talking about tonight?
Going
Excited.
back, so we missed last month. Neither of us were feeling well, so we couldn't do last month. I'm still recovering, obviously. Drink some water. But if you go back to the last time we were with Going Beyond the Pink was in October. And then at that one, you can rewatch that video if you want to, but just briefly what we talked about was going into the holidays. So Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, a lot of people will have to take breaks from whatever nutrition plan that they're on because you are going to a holiday dinner, things like that. But don't worry, it won't destroy your goals with whatever nutrition you're trying to do. Now you can't go off and be completely foolhardy about it and have like a gallon of ice cream. It's probably not going to help you. But you probably could have a bowl of ice cream and be okay. And so transitioning from that though, if you're going forward, so thinking about right now, today's date is December 9th. And so we're getting very close to Christmas. Hanukkah is currently still happening. Kwanzaa's upcoming, and there's some other things that are coming in there. I know there's I can't remember what Muslim holiday is coming up next, but there's several holidays that are happening here in this center of time. Then New Year's comes, and then it's the New Year's time, right? So everybody's moving forward. And if you're an American, you're probably thinking about some kind of resolution to do. There's a large number of people that do that. If you go to YouGov.com, they did an American survey of the people, and the most common resolutions for US adults heading into 2021, excuse me, heading into this year were to do more exercise, lose weight, save money, or improve your diet. And so that was 50% of people said they wanted to do more exercise, 48% of people wanted to lose weight, 44% of people wanted to save more money, and 39% wanted to improve their diet. So that was going into 2021, so into this year that we're in. But then out of all the people, so those are big percentages, right? But only 35% of all the respondents said that they actually kept any of their 2020 goals. So there's more people that want to do these different things, but not as many even kept their 2020 goals. So the big thing there is the best way to be successful with any resolution is to have a plan going into it. So Kara and I were just talking about this, and I want to share it with you because I was able to find what I wanted. I want to, Where is my?
While you're looking, I'll just remind everybody, if you're out there and you're watching live, feel free to say hi, throw any questions or comments or chat right along in that comment section of the live feed. We'd love to interact with you if you are live.
All right.
Here's the plan. Looks to me like they're coming up with a plan. We'll have to change that plan. Got a plan. I say we go with Miguel's plan. I got a goddamn plan! Better be one hell of a great plan.
The number of times that they say plan in that movie is pretty ridiculous. But that is the wonderful movie Tremors. If you've never seen it, you should probably see it once, maybe twice. Definitely have friends around, and if you like adult beverages, have them while you're watching it. It's fun. And fun game. You should take a drink every time they say plan, or every time they talk about shooting or blowing something up.
Oh,
You will have a wonderful time.
the designated driver for that night, right?
Right. Yeah, it's the amount of time. It's pretty insane. But either way, as I continue to choke my way through this, I'm sorry.
Oh no, take your time, take a drink. We're good.
But when we're thinking about having a plan, you want to have things that are we consider SMART goals. So SMART, S-M-A-R-T, is the acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, timely. So if you're having a specific goal, if you want to, and this is a funny thing with all of the things, more exercise, lose weight, save money, improve your diet. If you improve your diet, I promise you, you're probably going to save money. You're probably going to lose some weight. And if you do a little bit more exercise, it's going to help everything too, right? So you can actually hit all of these big things by just starting with focusing on planning out your food. So if you want to have a specific goal,
I'm going to ask you to tell me the SMART acronym again: specific, measurable, achievable,
relatable,
relatable,
timely. You have to have a time, has to be on it. So specific. So we have the same goal, or I have the same goal at least every day. I need to have 2 servings of vegetables, 3 servings of fruit every day. So to me, that's specific, and that's a measurable, the 2 and the 3. That's achievable. I've been doing it every day for, how old am I? For like 18 years or so.
wow.
That's
Impressive.
Ever since I got into this like nutrition thing, it's kind of been a big deal.
Yeah.
And then achievable, so that's achievable and relatable. The relatable part is any goal that I have, whether it's for muscle building or for fat loss. Those are kind of my things. I'm big into body transformation. That is going to help me achieve either of those goals. So fruits and vegetables, no matter what you're doing, you need both of them to help you live happier and healthier. And timely every day, right? So every day I have to hit those marks. And that's kind of like the like a budgeting standpoint. By having those things, it kind of leaves me room to have what I want to have. So if I make sure that I have my fruits and my vegetables, I can have a bowl of ice cream in the evening. If I make sure to have my fruits and vegetables, I can have a beer later. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If you get those things in there, I've got enough volume of food in the day that I'm feeling full still, but I'm also making sure that I met all of my micronutrients that I need for the day, which are vitamins and minerals. Over the past couple of years here, a lot of people have been talking about a lot of different vitamins and minerals as if they are experts on them. And I'm telling you, I'm not even an expert on all of them. So be careful of the people that you listen to. But I do know a lot of very specific things about a lot of very specific vitamins. And so that's kind of the biggest thing there, is making sure you have a goal that is set with a smart plan there. So one of the things though is if you set your goal. So I talked about my goal just before, the 2 servings of vegetables and 3 servings of fruit every day. What if you set your goal, like Kara, what's a goal that you have?
Specific to food would be to drink enough water every day. So aiming for the half my body weight goal line
Okay, all right.
every day.
All right. And so how confident are you in drinking that amount of water that you're going to do that every day? If you had a scale of 10, 1 to 10, 10 being the most absolute confident that you're going to do it.
Probably a 6 or a 7.
Okay, so that's a 6 or a 7, right? So whenever you make a goal, you want to make sure that you can at least be a little bit higher, right? So you want to get to the 8, right? So let's say if it's a 7, what can you do to make it an 8?
So this is really interesting. I think I have tried different things because I know, I'll get really busy in a day and I kind of forget about the taking care of myself stuff and the goals. So one thing I always that I do now is include or keep a bottle of water on my nightstand, because I'll drink a ton of water before bed, which may not be the greatest idea, but whatever. At least I'm getting it in.
Okay.
A thing that I could do that I'm not doing would be to drink more water before I have my coffee in the morning, or drink lemon water instead of coffee in the morning, or something along those lines.
Okay, so you have a bottle of water in your nightstand you have at nighttime. You drink that at night before you go to bed?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you fill it up in the morning before you start doing stuff and drink it again?
I could, yeah. I mean, I don't, but I should, absolutely.
Okay. Well, how confident do you feel that you could actually do that?
Well, now that it's been brought to my attention, I would say that confidence level is higher for sure. I think it's having that plan, right?
Right. So having that and moving that over, so that would make increase your confidence level by 10% in something. So that is a big, huge jump and a huge leap, and that's going to help anybody improve. So if you're thinking about goals that you have out there, if you set a goal and you think about it, how am I going to achieve this goal? How am I going to make this goal? And you give yourself a 3 out of 10, maybe go back and rethink your goal a little bit. Maybe it needs to be tweaked a little bit. Like for my own goal, if I wasn't 100% confident that I could do that, then I could have 2 servings of vegetables and 3 servings of fruit every day. One of the things that I would change about it is the number of servings, right? Like if I said I was a 3 out of 10 to have that number, what would I change? I would say maybe I'll just have 1. If I could have 1 serving of fruits or a vegetable, I feel like that I could 100% a 10 out of 10 achieve that goal. And then if it feels like that it's too easy, maybe you want to say like 2, you could have a serving of fruit and a serving of vegetables in a day. And there's little things in there you can manipulate all the time. Maybe it even goes further where it's like, I don't even know if I do it in a day. Maybe it's every 2 days. Who knows? But making sure that any goal that you set, you feel confident in, at least an 8 out of 10, that you could do that. That's going to help you make that next step and help you achieve that goal, keep that goal going. And that's kind of the whole thing. Any of these goals that you want to have going into the new year, the resolutions that you have, you definitely want to make sure that you're able to keep up with them. And then the other thing is, like, once you hit the goal, think back on it. What did you do and what did you accomplish, right? Like, it's a big deal to set a goal and actually achieve that goal. A lot of people set a lot of goals and don't even make them happen. So if you set a lot of goals for yourself, it's a wonderful thing to think about going forward. People will always ask you, what is your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? Those kind of different things. People ask those questions all the time. But if you have a 5 and a 10-year plan, in order to get to your 10-year plan, you must have achieved your 5-year plan. But in order to achieve that 5-year plan, you got to have several things underneath that you're going to achieve and make it there. And that's the same kind of thing which going into a New Year's resolution. If you want to get to the end of the year, having done what you wanted to do, you really need to think about it. What is it going to look like in 9 months, in 6 months, in 3 months, in 1 month, in 1 week? You know, where are you at? How are you going to get from goal to goal? So set your long-term goal, your resolution for the year, and then maybe break it down a little bit more. So that way you can achieve those goals and you can, you know, everybody, I don't know how much percentages, but everybody likes to check the box.
To check the box. It feels good.
So you got to check the box.
That's true.
And then once you achieve that goal, you know, can you make it a little more? Can you go more? So if you were 2 servings of vegetables and 3 servings of fruit in a day, is there something else you can add on? Like maybe you want to make sure that you have X number grams of fiber in a day. Like he's like breaking these things down a little bit. Will help you get out. So the big things, you know, like we said with the previous resolutions, people really want to do more exercise. That's the number one thing. Everybody wants to exercise more. And when it comes to that, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week is like the big recommendation. But remember, you don't have to do all 30 minutes at a time in a single sitting.
Yeah.
You want to do minimally 10 minutes at a time, right? So 10 minutes of continuous activity is really, really helpful for anybody. If you start getting smaller than that, the arc of benefits isn't all there. Sorry, my video's moving. I now realize that.
We're still adapting to the technology, right?
Yeah. You know, normally it's like I have to go back and check my settings because normally it does the other direction. But that's the whole thing. Like the benefit isn't there. Like really, it's like 10-minute line is going to get you the biggest. Start the biggest set of benefits. If you're less than 10 minutes, it doesn't really work. And it only has to be at least moderate when it's talking about physical movement. And moderate exercise would be something that you can have a conversation, like we can talk, but I can't sing to you. Right. So if I'm singing, then then my heart rate isn't high enough, but I can still talk to you. Vigorous would be like, you can get out 1 or 2 words, maybe, you know, like that. That's kind of the whole thing. It's like when I'm running, and we do run club on Tuesdays, and I'm running, and people are like, "Good job, Brian." I'm like, it's like that's about all I got. I don't have anything more than that. It's like keep it up. If I can have a conversation with you, I'm really not trying.
Nice.
So, and that's that. So thinking about those things, and then the other thing that I have here is, along with the exercise, our specialty is in like body recomposition. So when we think about whether it's weight loss, weight gain, that's different for everybody, especially people with cancer treatment. So if you're thinking about breast cancer, and this is where breast cancer is a little bit more unique, because they kind of force you into a semi-menopausal state, you are more likely to gain weight than people that are going through other cancer treatments. But at the same time, some cancer patients, even breast cancer patients that are in a post-menopausal state, will lose weight dramatically. And that's one of the concerning points in either direction. You know, if you're gaining too much weight or if you're losing weight too rapidly, we all get concerned from a medical perspective because of the impact that's going to have on your treatment, but also on you and your longevity post-treatment. If you lose weight really rapidly, one of the big important things that we want to be mindful of is that that can dramatically change your treatment plan. It's one of the things, any time anybody has cancer, automatically your energy needs, so your calorie needs, increase, and automatically your protein needs go up a little bit. And then when you progress through different treatments, those will probably go up even higher. And especially if you're having concurrent treatments, when it's like chemo and radiation simultaneously, that like makes you double jump. So that's kind of the whole thing. We always want to be mindful about how well people are eating, how well they're able to keep up with it. It's really tough and challenging for a lot of cancer patients that they're eating really well and they think they're fine. And then they start cancer treatment, they're eating exactly the same, they're losing weight or they're gaining weight, and they're like, what's happening? Nothing's changed. It's like, you gotta wiggle, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there where you gotta change things a little bit. And that's kind of the whole thing, like with everything that we do at Food with Strength, that's what we do. But the other thing that we do, personally, on a personal standpoint, Susanna and I prepare pretty much all of our meals at home. We do eat out every once in a while. We have convenience in the food industry, food science side of things. We call them like convenience items, like a pre-made pie crust is a convenience item. Like you didn't have to do all of the work to break up all of the butter by hand and crumble it into the flour. Although I will say, for those of you that have small children, it is really fun for them to make biscuits that involve crumbling the butter with their fingers. I will do it with our 2-year-old, and he stands on a little stool with the flour and the butter in there. And I just let him go to work, and I do like everything else around it, then I come back to it.
Oh, I bet he loves that.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He thinks it's the funnest thing.
I just learned how to do it in a food processor. So if you're out there, that's another option. Don't even need the convenience foods, right?
Did you do that for Thanksgiving? Did you make your pie
I
crust?
did, yeah. Yeah, I haven't tried to make a pie crust in forever because it's just one of those things that seems really hard to do. And there is that convenience food out there, right? There's a lot of those things out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of those. It is the fun part with it. So I'm airdropping these things to myself so I can show you these pictures. So of course it's going to take like 5 minutes there.
Oh yeah. Do you guys use the pie crusts? Is that one of your convenience foods?
We use the pie crust occasionally. We did it for what was I making? I made a quiche, and I used a pre-made pie crust to make one quiche, and then we made a pie crust for another quiche because and then we used the other pre-made pie crust for like a pie or something. I can't remember. Yeah, it's the fun thing. Like I said, we eat kind of whatever we want. So it's whenever you get in all your fruits and vegetables, you can do whatever else you want.
I love that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry for yawning.
Tools. Let me crop it. Okay. All right. Whatever. We'll zoom. This tools. Crop. Okay. There we go. There's that one. Sorry, I'm like doing all this stuff on the fly. It's like the worst way to do anything, but
it's all right.
I wanted
builds anticipation.
We started preparing all of these foods, and I was like, oh, we should have taken pictures before we started doing it, but we did it. So what we made for this evening to show you guys, thinking about servings of fruits and vegetables. I've been talking about it all night. A serving, when we're thinking about just one serving, and this is the big thing, like it's not that hard to get all of those things in because it's really a small number. So if you hold up your fist,
okay,
right, take your thumb away. This is about 1 cup right here, right? So half of it, a half cup of fresh fruit or fresh vegetables is 1 serving, right? So it's not really complicated.
That's not hard to get at all.
Right, so if you get a fist worth of those things, that's 2 servings. Right, so this is a regular navel orange. This is my fist.
Yeah,
It's almost the same size. Now these oranges, I don't know what happened with these, but for some reason, like the pith on these is like giant. It's like, I swear it's like a 1/4 of an inch thick or something. I don't know. It's insane.
Is the orange sweeter?
No. It's a yeah, this one's not any sweeter, but if
Oh, excuse me.
you have an apple, also about, it's not quite there, my fist is a little bit bigger, I guess, but it's almost the same. It's close to a cup. If you had 2 or 3 little mandarins, these things are super thin.
Yeah.
You take that off, you're gonna have about a cup. So
that's very doable.
Yeah, you can do this. I promise. You can get 2 servings of vegetables in and 3 servings of fruit in every day.
Hello, welcome.
Hi. You're so pink back there.
So pink.
I'm loving it.
All right.
Where are we talking about?
Now we're talking about our food demo that we made.
Oh, that's my job.
Yeah. You want to hear something fun?
Yeah.
I played an entire clip of Trimmers saying plan over and over again from the movie Trimmers.
Why?
Because we're talking about planning.
Talking about planning.
Got it. Yes. I've got a plan. That's what everyone should feel like when they're going into whatever thing they're trying to plan.
Right.
Very confident about their plan. That's how we want you to feel.
Like you are about to stop the Trimmers from killing your town.
I've got a plan.
Yeah, it's
I
so
love
good.
that.
Okay, so what do you want? Do you want me to talk, or are you still saying things?
Well, we're over here. So
Okay.
I'm going to share this with you. So these are the things that we made. So we made some beets, carrots, parsnips,
And radishes.
and radishes.
Radishes not pictured, it looks like
Radishes
right now.
not pictured, but
They're on there.
these are the beets. These are after they've been done and cut up. Tell them what you did to.
They came on like the big leaves. So I whacked off the leaves, and then I whacked off the roots a little bit, and then I gave them a peel because basically I was peeling dirt off of them.
Right. Yeah.
And then rinsed them off, and it looked like I had murdered someone.
Yes.
So be prepared for that. And then I just peeled the parsnips and the carrots and sliced them and diced them. You can't really tell, it doesn't look like it, but I did try to get them to be about the same size. Like I wanted everything to be close to the same size just for roasting purposes, to make sure everything was done at the same time.
Sure.
And are you going to be doing By the Power of Modern TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So
And then
share.
I take every opportunity to roast a vegetable. It's like my favorite thing. If you don't want to eat vegetables, yeah, just roast it. It's so yummy. And so I do it a lot. So we hear about it a lot. But the other thing that's not here are radishes, and you could get them in the bunch, or you could just I got them already like raw, washed and the top cut off.
Roasted radishes. I think the only time I've ever had radishes was raw, either in a salad or like in soup. Like, I don't know, matzo ball soup,
Yeah.
Right.
matzo
Yeah.
ball soup and radishes. Delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
Yes,
good like
they're-
crunch soft combo thing too.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so they're good roasted too. They're really tasty roasted. So we roasted them with, because it's like all root vegetables. We're going for like a wintry root vegetable vibe. And so they are super tasty. Drexel took a big old bite out of a radish that was raw. I mean, he just put the whole thing in his mouth, and he was like, "Too spicy." He didn't like it.
Poor
He
baby.
did not like it, poor guy. Okay, yes,
These haven't been cooked.
they have not been cooked. No, these are raw.
That looks like fall on a sheet pan. I mean, It's
so pretty to
beautiful.
look at. Exactly. So we'll drizzle. We haven't cooked them yet, but we put some fresh thyme on there. Ryan's coworker
Right.
brought some fresh thyme into the office, and so we're like, oh, we'll use that. And so we put some fresh thyme. If I were better prepared and not so lazy, there would be fresh garlic on there too, except I use garlic powder, like in a pinch, whatever. I use powdered stuff. And then also, when we were in undergrad, one of the very first foods that I made in a food lab was literally boiled Brussels sprouts, but we put like a little bit of the seasonings, like a little bit of butter and nutmeg, and it was amazing. The nutmeg on them was so good. So,
Nutmeg on Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, on Brussels sprouts. So we added it to this too, and it's like really tasty. So it's like a little bit of garlic, a little bit of you could do fresh nutmeg on it, or we just have powder, but ground nutmeg, and then some fresh thyme and a little bit of olive oil. You could salt and pepper it. Ryan and I always opt to leave the salt off, and let people salt the way that they prefer. And
I just want to point out real quick, the beets are not burnt. When you look at your sugar, it's probably made from beets. A third of the world's granulated sugar is made from beets. And so this is actually just a browning effect on the beets. So she's gonna cut one. So
I want to cut one. Oh, it's like
you'll see it's
purple
like a
inside.
dark, deep purple on the inside.
And these are the radishes.
Right, and those are the radishes.
I like my vegetables roasted a little al dente. So how long did we end up putting these in the oven?
These were in the oven for 35 minutes.
Yeah, for 35 minutes. I honestly think that they're probably like a little bit softer than I would prefer them, but I'm like al dente. I kind of want to crunch a little still.
A little crunch, a little. Yeah, absolutely.
25 minutes if you want to crunch them, 35 minutes if you want them to be closer to like, I don't know, like a good soft roasted potato consistency.
Yeah, if you go further than that, they're just going to be really, really mushy.
Which you might like.
So maybe you want to smash them all together. That's your thing. If you have really small children, you have to cook them for like an hour if you want them to be like really, really soft like that.
Soft. Like baby food soft, yeah.
Wow. We're gonna actually hand one of these to our baby, I think, because it's like the perfect shape and texture.
Yeah, yum.
Wow.
Wow.
All of like 5 teeth, or smallest one.
I know.
Oh,
So,
how old is he now?
He's almost 10 months. He's 9.5 months. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm the ever lazy person. So we opted not to do any of the pureed baby food because I'm lazy and I just wanted to give him food off of my plate. And so that is actually a thing. And that's what we did. And he did okay with it. Well, Drexel did it first, right?
Yeah.
And then August. And so.
Although we may have created taste versions because maybe he doesn't like soft things.
Who, Drexel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like soft.
oh well,
Maybe
you know.
he doesn't like it anyway. So.
Yeah, probably.
Everybody has a thing though, you know, so that's okay.
I will say that he eats mashed potatoes, like more potatoes.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like
Are there people in the world that don't do that?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
can
feel
be
bad for
friends.
those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this, catch me, I'm so sorry, catch me up on what you guys have said already about plans, because I love everything. Okay, I've missed.
Yeah, so yeah, we talked SMART goals. I love Ryan was sharing about like the top most common resolutions and how like there's so many people that want to keep the resolutions, but so few of them are actually successful. And so we've been just talking about a lot of plans and
yeah, it's all about the plan. It is.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people, because I've been talking to a lot of people about holiday stuff. I always like to tell people, think about the holiday, what needs to happen for you to look back over it and say, that was okay. Like, I'm okay with what happened, right?
yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It could be if that's what you're looking for, but then you have to really plan for it. But like, what is acceptable?
Yeah.
And
I love how this kind of combines so well with what we talked about last time. Like Ryan was saying early on, right? Like just having, planning to take that break, which is good for you, but then that plan is still really important getting there and planning ahead of time too, right? For what you're saying, Suzanne, I mean, just as smart.
And the break can be the plan, right? So like if you set yourself up for the holiday saying the holiday is going to be a little bit of a break, like, okay, now at the other side of the holiday, you're not like, darn it, I failed, because no, that was the plan.
Yes.
I was successful. I enjoyed this, and now I'm ready to move forward, right?
Exactly. Or if you would like to be a little bit more on top of things, like I've talked to a couple of people who are like, no, I'm not taking any kind of a break. And I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do for Thanksgiving? I had one guy in particular who was like, oh, Thanksgiving. And I was like, tell me what you do then. Like, what are you gonna do? He opted for salad. He was like, I'm gonna make a salad. And I'm like, the laziest person. So I'm like, so easy, great. Mixed greens, bag of mixed greens, awesome. He prepped like all of these vegetables to put in them. I was like, you're so inspiring.
That is really, I need some of him in my life. Wow. Fantastic.
So this could be part of it, right? Like I was thinking, what would you put this with? Lean meat, green salad on the side, easy.
Yeah.
Like no must, no fuss.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but also with all of these things, the amount of like the beets, so don't hang on beets. They're probably like the starchy thing that's on.
I was gonna say all of these
Everything else is
vegetables
on there.
are definitely root vegetables, but they're not like as starchy as a potato. So if you want something that's got like a little more substance to it than a green leaf.
Yeah.
And is like warm and satisfying, these are gonna be really good options for like kind of that starchy direction without being the full-on starchy vegetable.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a continuum. It's not so black and white, right?
Yeah. And
Did I
kind
ever
of-
share the beetroot cake story with you guys?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
tell us about.
All right. So a few years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, my mom was reminiscing about growing up, and either her mom or her grandma had a cake. It was the base of the cake is made with beetroot. And it's like a chocolate beetroot cake. And she just was remembering it fondly and how amazing it was. And her birthday was coming up, and our tradition is always, I'll make the cake for whomever. So I was determined to find the beetroot cake recipe, and I found some old recipe. It wasn't, that particular one. And I should have known better. I was laughing when you were talking about it looked like slaughtering somebody in the kitchen, right? Because of beets are just, woo. And she of course had like all white cabinets, and so I'm just trying desperately to like keep everything clean. It was just crazy, right? And I thoroughly cleaned those beets and everything that I was supposed to do every step of the way. And when I tell you that cake tasted like dirt,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
straight up, like we were chewing dirt. It was,
Hilarious.
oh, what a birthday fail.
So if you don't like dirt, beets might not be
Might not be your thing.
because you know what, we were getting ready for this and I was making it, and we have actually been talking about doing it for a while, and like I shared with my family over Thanksgiving, I think we're gonna roast beets and it's gonna be really tasty, and my sister was like, no, and her friend was like, beets taste like dirt, and I was like, they do kind of.
I even saw a TikTok today that was about beets tasting like, and every 5 minutes she's like, beets taste like dirt, whatever.
They're quite earthy. I wonder if I don't know. I feel like if you put
What's the whole thing like? There's the sugar that is in there is extracted from
They
it. That's
might-
what makes it sweet.
yeah, the
There's
beets
a lot
might,
of fiber in
yeah,
there.
they might be really good if you really roasted them to like absolutely
Nothing. Yeah, it
almost
was like really
nothingness.
concentrated.
Nice concentrated sweet beet
Um,
roasted vegetables.
To a guy the other day who is diabetic, and he was like, so you mean I can't have like beet juice? And I was like, no, you cannot have beet juice. You could have the beet,
Yeah,
but
but
definitely
not
not
the beet juice.
Right.
Yeah.
But it can't be like anything
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. They can't.
Uh, I used to live in North Dakota, and it's like the sugar beet capital of the world. And there's always like sugar beet processing plants. And at harvest time, you would see, I mean, these massive trucks just full of, it was really sad when one would like tip over from the weight and the balance being off, and literally just beets would go. Like, there's your sugar, there's your table sugar just going away on the side of the road.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I can't get over that your cake tasted like dirt, because
Like
yeah.
dirt. Happy birthday, mama.
It's very
It
Love you.
wasn't purposefully supposed to taste like dirt though. Like I feel like a good dirt cake doesn't actually taste like dirt.
But it wasn't.
No, a dirt cake it's crushed Oreos, so
Yeah.
it's much better.
And gummy worms.
The gummy worms, right? I mean,
It's totally vegan if not for the gummy worms.
Oh well.
oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of dirt later because they are just covered filthy. They're just covered in dirt when you get them.
That's right.
There's no getting around it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of the whole thing, we've talked about it before, but like the continuum of fruits and vegetables, when you go across time,
Uh-huh.
is anything that's a vegetable that is in season towards the end of the year, whether it's like November through December, and then even in the earlier months, is a root.
It's gonna taste
It's
like dirt.
not gonna.
Oh yeah. That's where we are right now. We're
Right.
like full in on things that come out of the dirt. Yep.
Dirt veggies, here we come, right? Yeah.
So that, and then like February ends up being like asparagus, it's trees. So
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
whatever.
So maybe we need to do asparagus next time.
Oh, spring veggies are my thing.
Yay!
Yum.
Yeah.
Yum, yum. All right, awesome. Well, for everybody who's still hanging in with us, I would love to hear how you plan. So put that in the comments or follow up with us. And if you need help with plans, obviously you need to reach out to Food with Strength because Ryan and Susanna are the bomb.com for sure. Excellent. Well, anything else, folks?
I don't think that we had anything. Did you have anything, Kara?
I am good to go. I'm excited. I'm gonna have to try roasting radishes. I'm like, that's gonna happen tomorrow because yum.
Oh,
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's definitely good. And you can include it, you can put it as a topping on other stuff, like you can have it tossed in your salad after you roast it.
Yeah,
all
that's
those
what I
kind of
was
things.
thinking. You could just put it on top of the green stuff. That would be so
These
good.
all keep, like, they'll keep at least for a week
A week.
once they're cooked.
Yeah.
And so you can divide them and portion them if you want to, or you can just have them and serve them throughout the evenings or during the day, whatever you want to do. But
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. This is one of the keys that we do to set us up for success every week is we try to batch cook some kind of vegetable out of the way.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's a total mess if it doesn't happen.
You're hitting your goals, right? I mean, how many years, Ryan, did you say you were hitting that goal of fruits and veggies? That's awesome. Like 18.
You've been eating enough fruits and vegetables every day since you were 18.
Yep.
I mean, for the past 18 years.
18
Which
years.
is you were 18.
Yep.
Good job, babe.
What's yours, Sus? What's your like thing that you plan to achieve all the time?
I always, this is probably not going to come as any surprise. I try to make sure that things are balanced. I try to make sure that there are multiple food groups at the meals that I have. And if I'm not really good enough at like doing it across the day, so I have to go on a meal by meal basis. I'm like, okay, I have to have a fruit with breakfast, whatever the main thing of breakfast is, and then a vegetable with lunch and dinner. Woo! And teach my children not to throw their toys. Those are the goals. Those are the goals, to make sure the vegetables happen twice later in the day and a fruit happens. And I kind of do it with Drexel too. Like if I'm planning you kind of get all of the planning done at once. If you're like planning for one person, you can just plan for multiple people. Same thing goes meal by meal. If you plan, like I love having leftovers, because if you took the time to make sure that one meal is balanced and then you have it as leftovers later, you've actually planned for 2 meals. So I'm all about the balance.
Yeah.
That's what I focus on.
And I love how all of the planning and effort and energy you guys put into good food habits, right? That just becomes the norm and the model for your kids as they grow up. And so they're less likely to have any struggles and things like that because they've just always had, that'll be, well, when I was a kid, we always had, and that just becomes their norm. So yes. Totally.
We were picking out leftovers to feed our son and asking like, well, what do you want of this? And it was like, we have this vegetable, this vegetable, this vegetable. He's like, I want the broccoli. And we're like, yes,
Winning.
of course you do.
Winning.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
High-fiving myself, Charlotte, if given the opportunity, every single time Charlotte will go for Brussels sprouts, and she'll even take like frozen Brussels sprouts and nuke them and eat the whole thing, like eat the whole bag. Love it. Get it, girl.
I love that.
Plenty of fun.
She's got a birthday coming up soon, doesn't she?
She does, 2 days after Christmas. Yay. She's gonna be 13. I can't even stand it.
That's the best.
Whoa,
She's gonna be a
there's
teenager.
a teen in there. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like Brussels sprouts, go for her.
Right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, hey, I'm going to wrap us up on the live. Thank you guys all so much for coming. As always, questions, comments, anything, just put it in the comments and we'll make sure to share. Suzanne, I gotta tell you, we had almost 1,000 people watch our videos last year, in the past year, so you guys are awesome.
Amazing.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Facebook folks, we'll see you again next month with more awesome nutritional information. And until then, post your questions, comments, and definitely reach out to Food with Strength. Happy holidays and happy
Bye.
planning.